Hello everyone, I'm really happy to see you again. I'm sorry, I was a little bit busy. I was traveling the world recently, so I didn't make an update. And I wanted to start the video to show you the cutback that we did last time on the last video, like the really hard cutback. Well, you can see that the plants are really okay with it. They grow perfectly and they have beautiful foliage, and now they are ready. As you can see, a hard cutback makes the plant reasonably high. That's the interest of it. You don't want to have the flower up there. You would like to have the flower there. So think about doing hard pruning on your plants, even though they are grafted. No problem about it. But as you can see, the result is there and it's really beautiful. We had a couple of questions from different people. One about Dream of Paris, Rêve de Paris, which is in the street color range, and about the color. So I will show you after in the greenhouse how Dream of Paris color change in function of the weather. And that's a really simple thing about roses. When they have that multiple color, if there's no direct sunlight, they cannot tame like our skin. And so basically they need direct sunlight. And as that plant is supposed to be a landscape rose, well, it's supposed to be outside, it's not supposed to be inside. So that's it for it. So this is Dream of Paris, Rêve de Paris. And this variety is really, really beautiful. But as you can see, it doesn't have the same color than on the picture that we are showing. Why? It's because we are lacking some sun recently and we are in a greenhouse. So the pruning on the flower is not showing that pinkish color. For sure, as soon as you will plant it in your garden, it will be beautiful. So you have to wait a little bit that the sun comes out and do that little tanning on the side of the flower. It's really important to understand that those are living things and they react to different environments. So that rose will show always the same if you have a lack of sun and always the same if you have a sun. This is a landscape rose, and so most of our picture are showing it in the landscape, and so usually outside and with some sun. But what's beautiful about this rose is not only the color, but it's that small fragrance, little peppery fragrance on the landscape rose. And it's so delicate, so beautiful. We think it's one of the best that we have for the landscape. And so Dream of Paris, street color, beautiful. And then there was a second question. Why varieties like Princess Charles in Monaco doesn't bloom during my fall? Well, I mean, it should bloom during any fall, but it could be different things. So for example, there's some problems of light. If you don't have enough light, the plant will keep growing to try to reach the sun. So instead of putting up a flower, it will put leaves and stems as much as they can. So that's one problem that can happen. Then do you feed them? Do you cut them back? What do you do? Because if we don't know on our side what technique do you use, we cannot relate to it. And three, one most important, where are you? You have to tell us where you are, because if we don't know your place and your climatic condition and the way you are growing it, we cannot answer. So that's really important for the team on the social that can answer you to have all those information and not just say, my plant doesn't grow. And then we had a third question. Yeah, it's a balling problem. So balling is when you take a rose that usually are big, double, really romantica style. They have a lot of petals, and sometimes in certain area they keep being bold like that. They will never open. Well, it's a problem of variety. It's simple, and you need to go in your area to varieties that either doesn't do balling or varieties that are more single. And so that's another solution. Do you want to have roses or do you want to have this rose? If this rose doesn't work in your place, just forget about it and take something else. So I hope you're gonna have much more questions next time. And I'm hoping that I'm gonna do another video as soon as possible, maybe in 2 weeks. So please send your message on our network so we can answer your question if you have some. Let's go enjoy the rose in the greenhouse now. So this is a really weird concept. Those are polyentas. The polyentas in Europe had fashion in 1920s, 1930s. Now they are back 100 years after. And those are bred by our friend, a good friend from United States, which is David Slesak. And David Slesak is a specialist for tough disease, no spray rose. And those pretty poly are just wonderful. Look at those many flowers on it. Like, I took a small stem and there's like 6 flowers on it. Beautiful small flowers, and you're gonna have tons of them. They are pretty compact, but they are big. They are big plants because polyentas are supposed to be big plants. So they are perfect for landscape place to give it a natural touch, old Chinese rose style, so you can rest and relax. You don't need to do anything with those pretty poly. Pretty poly are really easy. They come in 3 colors and they will amaze your balcony or your garden. So I hope you enjoy, and some of them have a slight fragrance. So it's beautiful to see all those thousands of small flowers on one plant. Every season they keep blooming. Every season you cut it back and then it comes back at the same time. So it's just beautiful. Think about it. Sometime a good old polyenta can be a solution for your garden. So this is a tough hybrid tea. It's ruby red, Rose du CICR. That rose is really fantastic. So we created that rose for the Comité International de la Croix-Rouge, the Red Cross in Switzerland. And so those roses are dedicated to them. But what's beautiful about that rose is a rose that is incredibly blooming like a crazy. That rose is really a step over on landscape of HT. So you can use it easily on landscape and have that rose being trimmed only once a year. And as you can see, it gives you a big red rose. So that's really what's important about it. It's a really beautiful plant in the pot, but it can also work pretty much in the garden. So this rose, ruby red, Rose du CICR, is one of the best of its kind. So I'm presenting you also roses that come from our good friends. And this is Jim Sproul's Pink Brick House. It's just spitting flowers all summer long. It's a beautiful rose, really easy to maintain. Look how many buds there is. Look how many flowers there will be. It's incredible. It's just a tough rose. We are really proud to introduce it in Europe and soon maybe in other places in the world. That's gonna be a blast for the landscape rose. Pink Brick House has a perfect pink color, really that soft pink that is not too strong, not too big, but just the right size. The foliage is wonderful because it's a green light foliage, so it goes pretty well with that pink. And so that rose, I think, will be a landmark for the new landscape hybrid type rose. Well, this is sugar candy rose, so that's the most hot rose that we have right now. Look at that beautiful flower. It's not only one flower, but it's really nice. Look at it, that color. It's just amazing. It is a perfect rose for a balcony, for small spaces. You can gift it. It's a really beautiful rose, really tough, really disease resistant, big flower. It's like an extra petit. So we're really proud to introduce it. It's being launched in Europe right now, and soon it will take all over the world, because that rose is the new generation of roses for balcony and terrace. And I think that's where we will get new people to love roses. You can cut the flowers and the stems and make a bouquet at home. There's no problem. But the rose just require once a year cut back, really severe cut back, and will come back in spring and give you flower all summer long. You just need to add water to it, no pesticide, no fungicide. You just watch it. If you have a problem with red spider, no problem about it. A little spray on it and it will be gone. So think about it. Try sugar candy rose, because that is the best new thing we have.